Yo, you already know it's Mastermind MMA. And, I came across this article and I decided to do a video on it. I don't know what it really does, if it does anything or not, but I'm just going to get into it so you know what I'm talking about. It's a fairly inconclusive article because I read the whole thing and I don't know what to take away from it. So, headline. McGregor tried changing Diaz rematch to 155 pounds at last minute. So it says, Dana came out initially and was saying Conor was requesting the Diaz fight at 200 at welterweight. And apparently now coming from McGregor's manager, Audie Otter, or whatever, however the fuck you say his name, he disagrees. So he says, at the 11th hour before we signed the bout agreement, Conor said, look, I'm hearing everybody. If everybody wants to do 155... Oh, sorry. Look, I'm hearing everybody. If everybody wants to do the fight at 155, fine, let's do the fight at 155. The fucking money fight. So, anyway, he said that was kind of a shitty accent. I'll get better, guys. But the contract was already written at 170. And so, in Conor's defense, he really didn't give two shits. He really wanted it at 170 because he wanted to prove he could beat him there. That's what his manager said. And he goes on to say, Conor is his own CEO, but intelligently he listens to the people around him and then makes his own final decision. He was trying to accommodate and listen to everybody and be a team player to make this happen. So, what the fuck does that even mean? 155, 170? Does it matter? Is this a headline just because it's a slow day, or is this a developing story? Because I saw another article about fucking Conor, and it said that he said on the UFC anniversary, it was like 3 years ago today, I began my crusade to take all you bums from 5-figure paydays to multi-7-figure paydays, and not even a thank you. Thank me. So it's like, bro, yeah. I'll give you the fact you made money much more of a factor in the fight game. Or at least you had the charisma or the gusto or whatever's the credit for it. Yeah, you made people focus about money. Yeah, you made people outspoken on money. Congratulations. What have you done that people that have been doing this for so long need to thank you for when you haven't even defended your title? And your first fight after acquiring the title, you lost. In the second, as much as I want to see Nate, and it's going to be an early finish. He's not going to make it out of the first round. And then at the end of the first round, motherfuckers all day long heaving, and John Kavanaugh's like, full recovery, you got this. And he didn't make it out of that round. So the smartest thing for Conor to do would be to take the full-blown business route. You were taking the business showman route. You were the showman that made money. Now that main factor of the money is up for debate. You could have peaked. 196 could have fully been the peak of Conor the Notorious McGregor. That could have been the height of it. And it could have been the height and the downfall. If you think about the landscape of Ronda getting knocked out in November, Conor was up to bat. Everyone was like, if Conor loses, it's kind of a wrap for the golden children of the UFC. The Paige, Sage, Ronda, Conor. Conor made it out in phenomenal fashion with one punch. Talked about going up in weight classes. Talking about taking the belt at 155, then going up to 170, making him a triple belt holder across 3 divisions in the greatest mixed martial arts promotion in the world. But you lost to the number 5 contender at lightweight. And I'm a Nate Diaz fan. But you were trying to go... If he didn't fall, I'm glad it worked out the way it worked out, because if he didn't lose to Diaz, he would have lost to RDA. He would have said he lost going after belts, or he would have done better if he had more weight to put on more power. Look, his excuse was for Nate, I simply learned for a man in my division, he would crumble under those shots. And I simply learned the bigger man can take more shots. He was efficient with his energy. I was not efficient. No. Nate Diaz boxes with Andre Ward, who, in my opinion, probably in a year from now, is gonna be he's undefeated. If he remains undefeated, he's gonna start to enter the beginning of that Floyd Money atmosphere. Nate Diaz, if he wins this rematch, in the words of Nate Diaz, yeah, you got all that push and that right timing, but now I'm in the right time and right place, and I'm gonna take that shit. So Conor, if you're doubling down on this shit talk, if you're going all the way the fuck in, putting all your chips in for UFC 200, that's a stupid move. Nate Diaz on a full camp. Nate Diaz with the confidence that he has. Nate Diaz accomplishing what he did, still feeling like he has a chip on his shoulder, is coming for you. He's coming to put an exclamation mark on his star power. Not even about any belts. He's just trying to be... He's going after your model almost of being a big draw. Fuck the belts. Let's get the money. And who better to be that persona than a motherfucking badass from Stockton, who bitch slaps you and then finishes you with high level jiu-jitsu. You know, the lead up. I'm gonna wrap this up in a little bit, but they said a dream fight of McGregor Diaz would be so great because of all the shit talk and all the lead up. And during the lead up, it was kind of more Nate just being like, yo, fuck you, fuck the belt, fuck your team. You don't train with anyone. You play touch putt in the park. It was entertaining, but it wasn't like... You almost felt Conor's presence more. Because I was expecting Diaz to do a shutdown and a takeover of the energy. But Diaz was kind of cooling in the cut, not giving a fuck. Like, yo, whatever happens, happens. Fuck you. And fuck whatever you're saying. But when he beat Conor, and when he came around, and he did, the post-fight press, he was like... we was talking to it was Dom Cruz, Frankie Edgar, and I don't remember who else, maybe Jay Glazer, and he was talking. He was like, yo, in the lead up, I didn't even have a fight camp, so in the press I didn't even know what to say. You know, when you have a fight camp, you're like a genius. You know every point you're gonna say, and he's like, for this I didn't have that, and he was a lot more vocal and concise. Because he had Nate Diaz is smart enough to be like, yo, let me kind of cool out because I don't have a training camp. And if I lose this fight, I'm not going to look foolish. But Conor looked foolish. People for the damage control Conor did, the way he handled it, people are giving him another shot. But he's kind of doubling down on being Conor, if that makes sense. He's like, instead of me changing my character, I'm gonna go full-fledged. Even, which is stupid, because even if you beat Nate Diaz in phenomenal fashion, which I do not see happening, it's just an avenged loss. It's almost the same as if you beat Joe Duffy. Nate Diaz is an elite fighter, and he's definitely a bigger name. But Joe Duffy beat you already in Cage Warriors. He came to the UFC, and like no one was really vying for that fight. Even if you were to beat Joe Duffy, then it'd kind of be like, all right, so what? Even if you were to beat Nate Diaz, it's like, so what? That sets up a trilogy. You gotta do it for the third time. So, like, the interim featherweight belt is there, and I don't know. I think Conor honestly had plans of winning, had plans of acquiring at least 2 belts, and then just getting the fuck out of there. Like, cashing the fuck out. I think he wanted to build momentum from 196 into 200, headline 200, get all the pay-per-view points. That would have been his Lawler fight if he won the belt in March, if it was supposed to be RDA. So even if he was doing if he won Diaz and was doing RDA at 200, that's breaking gates. But now he's trying to avenge a loss that Nate Diaz easily beat Conor. Weed beats speeds. You already know it's Mastermind MMA.